My daughter is singing her little heart out upstairs. Hi guys, it's Laura from How to Get Your Shit Together, and I want to talk to you about your dreams. Not in a weird way, not in a sit down on my couch sort of way. Your goals and your dreams, your aspirations, what you want to do with your life. And they don't have to be big, massive things. They don't have to be, I want to build a global empire. They can be really small things like I want to visit a certain place that I've always dreamed of, or I want to plant some herbs on my kitchen windowsill, which I have done several times and failed several times at. I want to talk to you about how you can get there. So I want to share my story with you in the hopes that it will inspire you to take steps towards your goals. So the idea for the website had been knocking around my noggin for several years. And I really wanted to help other young women who are trying to juggle everything, a career, a home, maybe children or family. I just wanted to help them and to encourage them and motivate them and maybe give them some tips and advice from my own experience, because I had tried out a lot of different things. But my style of writing is very casual, it's very informal. I like to inject a lot of humor into it. There's some slang in there. And I really felt that it wouldn't be appropriate. I felt that in order to inspire other people and to be seen as someone worth listening to, that I would have to be very serious and businesslike and very straight-laced in my approach. Another thing that really held me back was the fact that I'm a perfectionist. So I thought that if I wanted to launch a website, it would already have to be packed with great content. So I would need to write a lot of blog posts in advance. I would have to have the whole thing designed out perfectly. I really felt that I couldn't do anything until I had everything. I knew absolutely nothing about web design and coding and all that sort of stuff. I still don't. I still have no idea. But I also had no idea how to buy a domain. I had no idea what hosting was. So one day I just got fed up. Really, I just got so fed up with myself. The idea had been in my head for so long and I had done nothing with it, and I was just so frustrated with myself. So one evening I sat down and I thought to myself, what is the next tiny step I can take that will just help me along the road? So I decided that I would research buying a web domain. I had absolutely no idea how to do it, but I thought I'll just do some research and at least then I'll have some knowledge. So long story short, I did some research and by the end of the night I had a website up and running. And from that one teeny tiny step sprouted something amazing, or the start of something amazing. There's a great saying that says that the best time to plant an oak tree is 20 years ago, but the second best time is now. And it can be very frustrating for people, and I felt this too, because you feel, oh, if only I had started this several years ago, I would be in a great place right now. I would be so successful right now. And you can beat yourself up over it because you think, oh, I've wasted all of this time. But the second best time is now. Do it now. What excites you now? What can you do right now that will take you closer to your goals? When you think about babies, when they're learning to walk, and I'm talking about physical steps now, like literal steps, but babies don't give up on themselves. Babies take a tiny step, then they fall on their ass. And we all do that. But they don't stop. If babies stop there, nobody would ever learn to walk. We take a step, we fall down, we get up, we take another step. But here's the thing, when we're taking that second step, it's not that we failed before. That first step that we took, whether it was a massive success or it wasn't such a massive success. We've still learned something from it. Babies still build up their muscle power and their balance and their coordination. So that next step for them isn't just one step. It's one step further. It's one step closer to them walking. Take one small step now and you will never have to take that first step again. Your next step will always be your second step. It will always be one step closer. Even if your first step isn't an entire success, you're still one step closer because you're either one step closer knowing what works or you're one step closer knowing what doesn't work. Maybe it's a giant step, maybe it's a teeny tiny step, maybe you go down the wrong path and have to turn back. But think about all of the things that you will learn just from that one little step. You're never back to square one. And I've actually written a blog post about this and I will link it down below. But if you do something, if you progress down a path and it turns out not to be the path for you and you have to return and go down a different path, you're not going back to square one, because square one is where you are with zero knowledge, with zero experience. You're not going back to that. You're going back to a point where, okay, you may have to try a different path, but you're now doing it with the knowledge and experience that another path hasn't worked for you. And you bring that knowledge about why it hasn't worked with you so that when you're on your new path, you can ignore all the things that you know didn't work in the past and you can try new things and see if they work. A goal is not an end point. It's not a destination. Your goal is the journey. If you take that one step, you are already fulfilling your dreams. You're already reaching your goals. Maybe your goal is to own a very successful company, but you can't own a successful company without first going through all the motions of buying a company, setting it up, hiring people, whatever, all of that jazz. That is part of the goal. Without doing all those things, the goal doesn't exist. So your goal is not this far off, distant thing. Don't feel overwhelmed by it because you think I have to go from 0 to 100. You don't have to do that. Your 100 is the whole way along. Your 100 would be nothing without your 1, without that first step. That is your goal. I am now 13 months on from where I was that one night just sitting down to research web domains. 13 months further into my journey, and I hope that I'll still be doing it in 13 months' time, in 13 years' time. This has been an incredible journey for me, and it all started with that one tiny step. So I would really encourage you to find your one tiny step and take it. Maybe you just do some research online, maybe you read a book, maybe you ask a friend who's done something similar. There are so many things you can do, and it just takes that one tiny step. So I hope this video has inspired you. I hope it's given you some food for thought. I hope you're now thinking about what the next step is that you can take. If you found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up, and please also consider sharing it with your friends. They will thank you. Please subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more motivational videos like this. I make new videos every Thursday, so subscribe and you won't miss those. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.